Good evening. I'm calling to order the Fountain City Council meeting for March 11th, 2025. Please stand if able for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor, could we please swear in our new council member prior to the roll call tonight?
We could. It's just such a habit to
I
get
know.
on that roll, huh?
Sure.
Ms. Geek, if we could have you go down front and center, please, so that you can actually vote on some things, huh?
That'd be really good.
Yeah.
I state your name. I, Marcia, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Colorado, the Fountain City Charter, and the City of Fountain ordinances and codes. I will faithfully perform the duties of the office of council member in Fountain, Colorado, upon which I'm about to enter to the best of my skill and ability. Congratulations.
Yeah, come on up, family.
Yeah,
Family,
absolutely.
family, come on down, get some pictures. And we got to move again.
Moved in too early.
Yeah. Hey, you guys center. John, center them so they can get the logo in their background. Thank you. Okay, Madam Clerk, now roll call.
Mayor Thompson,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Rick,
Here.
Councilmember Hinton,
Here.
Councilmember Geek,
Present.
Councilmember Estes,
Here.
Councilmember Hersberg. Here. Councilmember Duncan.
Present.
I have 7 members present.
All right, thank you very much. That sounds really nice to say 7 council members present once again, doesn't it? All right, that takes us to item 4.1, presentations. Proclamation declaring the month of March will be recognized as Brain Injury Awareness Month. Councilmember Hinton.
A proclamation declaring the month of March will be recognized as Brain Injury Awareness Month. Whereas every March, Brain Injury Awareness Month is recognized to educate the public about the prevalence, impact, and challenges of brain injury. And whereas the Brain Injury Association of America continues its campaign, My Brain Injury Journey, to highlight the unique experiences of brain injury survivors and emphasize that no 2 brain injuries are alike. And whereas the brain injury affects millions of individuals across the nation, often resulting in chronic conditions that require long-term care, rehabilitation, and support. And whereas there remains a significant gap between public perception and the reality of living with a brain injury, making awareness and education essential to reducing stigma and improving access to resources. And whereas through storytelling and advocacy, survivors, caregivers, healthcare professionals, and community members are encouraged to share their experiences, fostering greater understanding and empathy for those affected. And whereas individuals and organizations are urged to participate by sharing stories, promoting education, supporting brain injury-related initiatives, and advocating for policies that enhance the lives of those with brain injury. And whereas the month of March serves as a time to reaffirm our commitment to advocating to advancing research, rehabilitation, support services to improve the quality of life for brain injury survivors and their families. Now therefore, be it proclaimed that the mayor and the City Council of the City of Fountain, Colorado, do hereby proclaim March 2025 as Brain Injury Awareness Month and encourages all citizens to recognize and support the efforts to spread awareness, reduce stigma, and provide essential resources for individuals living with brain injuries. Done this day, 11th day of March 2025.
Thank you. And it is one of those things that we always say, it could be you anytime. So thank you very much for bringing that to awareness. That takes us on to the next proclamation, declaring the month of March will be recognized as Women's History Month. Councilmember Estes.
A proclamation declaring that the month of March will be recognized as Women's History Month. Whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background have made historic contributions to the growth and strength of our nation in countless recorded and unrecorded ways. Whereas American women have played and continue to play a critical economic, cultural, and social role in every sphere of the life of the nation by constituting a significant portion of the labor force working inside and outside of the home. Whereas American women have played a unique role throughout the history of the nation by providing the majority of the volunteer labor force of the nation. Whereas American women were particularly important in the establishment of early charitable, philanthropic, and cultural institutions in our nation. Whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background served as early leaders in the forefront of every major progressive social change movement. Whereas American women have served our country courageously in the military. Whereas American women have been leaders not only in securing their own rights of suffrage and equal opportunity, but also in the abolitionist movement, the emancipation movement, the industrial labor movement, the civil rights movement, and other movements, especially the peace movement, which create a more fair and just society for all. And whereas, despite these contributions, the role of American women in history has been consistently overlooked and undervalued in the literature, teaching, and study of American history. Now therefore, be it proclaimed that the City Council of the City of Fountain does hereby proclaim March to be Women's History Month, read in perpetuity the 9th day of February, 2021.
Thank you. And that takes us to our presentation and proclamation declaring Fountain's commitment to engage in activities associated with America 2050, Colorado 150, twin commemorative anniversaries. And take it away, Mr. Schrull.
Thank you, Mayor, and council members. Thank you for allowing us to present tonight. It is quite a busy night with proclamations, it seems. So my name is Nate Schrull. I work here at the City of Fountain. I'm the Economic Development Specialist. Partnered with me today is Ms. Amy Long from Visit Colorado Springs, a destination marketing organization. We would like to just provide you a very brief background as to what this proclamation request is for. So we'll get right into the slides. Next slide, please. So the United States of America is celebrating a very important milestone anniversary next year in the 250th anniversary of America. That is what is known as semi-quincentennial is the term. At the same time, Colorado as a state is honoring its statehood, the 150th anniversary, and the term for that is the sesquicentennial. So there is a combination of terms to celebrate the dual or joint Colorado and United States anniversaries. Quite a mouthful here, but the sesquisemiquincentennial. So that term is to represent both the 250th and the 150th anniversaries of the United States and Colorado. Next slide. So the commemoration itself has an origin back to Colorado legislation. In 2022, Governor Polis signed into effect Senate Bill 2211, creating the Commission for A250C0150. And this group consists of about 15 members from diverse range of backgrounds and state agencies. The commission is charged with guiding Colorado's sesquisemiquincentennial program in ways that empower every Coloradan to participate. So specific ways that the commission references this in their document, in their enabling law, is that they help to identify statewide and local partners to plan events, foster historic preservation, develop educational opportunities, and gather in community. Also to ensure that the activities represent the geographic and demographic diversity of the state of Colorado. And then lastly, to focus celebratory activities specifically around minority, underrepresented, and disadvantaged communities. So throughout, starting in fall of 2025 this year, throughout the year 2026, Colorado's Sesquicentennial will be an opportunity for all of Coloradans to gather under the original mission and purpose, which are stated here in the bullets, honoring and celebrating Colorado and acknowledging its complete history, honoring what makes it Colorado as a state unique, and then embracing in the shared destiny as we strive towards a more perfect union, So I will let Amy here speak to the signature initiatives. Thanks.
Thank you. So if you don't like that big, long word, you can use what I use, which is the 250-150 commemoration events. And the state group has 3 signature initiatives. One is creating memorable experiences, and collectively, we will hold public festivals and gatherings, passport programs, events where people are climbing 14ers, and new public art pieces. And these don't have to be new events. You can work this commemoration into existing events. We're commemorating our shared history, so there's a big educational component through museum exhibitions, cultural experiences, historic markers, and educational materials. The schools will be heavily involved in this. And the commission is also really supporting the Colorado communities. It's definitely a grassroots initiative where they've created a unifying branding and awareness building campaign. They have, they're developing a statewide calendar of events, and they will help each community to promote these events. Next slide, please. And Nate and I are part of the local organizing committee for the Pikes Peak area, and these are some of the organizations that are a part of it. Colorado Springs' former mayor, Mayor Suthers, is on our local organizing committee. Right now we're meeting about once every other month. Everybody's welcome to come. Our next meeting is on March 18th, but we'll be disseminating information to the event organizers, schools, museums, and then funneling that back up to the state level. And there's a lot of ways for people to get involved. Thank you. You can support local events by helping with communications or volunteering for the events. We want people who own events, who run them, to get involved, make this 250-150 commemoration a part of it through signage, through a special award. There's a lot of different ways. And then there is a logo for the 250-150 celebration that all of us are free to use. And we are soon to get a public relations toolkit to help us with communications and that unified branding. Back to Nate.
So just, so just as a quick example here of ways that communities, local municipalities can get involved, was a reference to signifying very important milestones within the municipality itself. If there's any, for instance, capital projects or improvements to be made in the year 2026, for instance, a new rec center, a city bridge, a new trail recognition, it's a good opportunity to link this back to the Colorado A250C150 by potentially commemorating it through a plaque of sorts that recognizes the importance of this moment in history and within the city. So that's just a quick example of a way that the city could get involved with the commemoration itself. Next slide. So in conclusion, today we are asking for the reading of passage of this proclamation, and hopefully the mayor and council members have gotten the chance to look that over and agree to getting our community involved in this great initiative. Mayor, and that concludes my presentation.
All right, thank you. I will read the proclamation into the record then. A proclamation declaring Fountain's commitment to engage in activities associated with America 250, Colorado 150, twin commemorative anniversaries. Whereas the year 2026 marks the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and whereas the year 2026 marks Colorado's 150th anniversary of statehood, and whereas Fountain, Colorado, founded in 1859 and officially incorporated in 1903, has contributed proudly and significantly to the history of our nation and our state for more than 165 years. And whereas in 2016, the United States Congress established by joint resolution the America 250 Commission to encourage observance of the 250 years of our nation's existence. And whereas the Colorado Legislature established the America 250 Colorado 150 Commission with the passage of Senate Bill 2022-011, and the commission has determined its mission and purpose is to celebrate Colorado by acknowledging the completeness of our shared history, honor that which makes Colorado unique, and strive toward a more perfect union. And whereas Fountain has a rich history comprised of various significant people, places, landscapes, milestones, and events that form the background of the community and contribute to the annals of the country and state, including but not limited to local indigenous tribes, farming and ranching settlers, women in leadership roles, railroads, including the blast of 1888, and military installation development, among others. And whereas it is appropriate that Fountain engages fully with its past in helping to build a more diverse and resilient shared future, and whereas the Mayor and City Council of Fountain encourage its citizens, businesses, and community organizations to commemorate the twin anniversaries of the United States and Colorado and its own history through a wide range of means, including educational opportunities, historic preservation, and events and programming, among others. Now therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Fountain do hereby proclaim that Fountain will fully engage in commemorative activities leading up to and during the Commission's stated length of observance, July 4th, 2025 through December 31st, 2026. Dated this 11th day of March, 2025, Sharon Thompson, Mayor. Thank you for not including that S word in it. Okay? I'm just going to call it the S word. We would have been up here all night long. I don't know about many of you, but I remember the 200th anniversary of America and all the really cool stuff that happened then. And they took some of the founding documents, not the original ones, obviously, by train across the nation. And you go and see where it was stopped and see. And it was just really, really created a sense of pride, I think, in a lot of people. I don't know if anybody else remembers anything they did for that. But I remember on 4th of July, I don't know if it's on the 4th or the Sunday before, all the churches across the nation all rang their bells at a certain time. And I think it was like 11 o'clock or noon or something in your area. And you could go out in front of your church, and then you could hear all the church bells around town. And with everybody celebrating, because the churches were majorly involved with the founding of America. So, all right, anybody else? I love history, so let's get rolling on this. Thank you very much. All right. Okay, that takes us on to item 4.2, Board, Commission, and Committee appointees. There are none tonight. Item 5, correspondence, comments, and ex officio reports. Mr. Trainer.
I don't have anything to share.
Looking kind of
Madam Mayor.
sparse over there tonight.
It's very sparse. Very sparse. Kind of lonely. 3 is the lonely, almost the loneliest number.
Oh, boy.
Not quite, though.
Sounds like a song title, huh? Chris?
Madam Mayor, I just wanted to let council know that we're not going to have the executive session tonight, even though it appears on the agenda. We're moving that to next week. I thought everybody might be
Okay,
pleased with that.
Fred must have a game he needs to get home to, huh? All right. Never had anybody groan over that. Okay. Chief?
Thank you, Mayor. Todd's not here, so I can talk for longer than 10 minutes. Just kidding. Just kidding. I just want to say, Councilmember Hinton, thank you for reading that proclamation in. As you know, one of our lieutenants, Shana Marshall, has a boy who received a traumatic brain injury back when he was a young kid in a traffic crash. And she's still dealing with the effects of what that entails today, and he's in his mid-20s. So while he's a fully functioning individual in society, I think the daily struggle's there. So thank you for that. And also, it's not lost on me and recognize that during Women's History Month that we just recognized, 5 of our city leadership is women. And I think that's something to be said about that. And the community is obviously. Sorry, I just about choked on my gum. The community is entrusting, obviously, your male counterparts, but women in leadership roles, and so I think it's very important that that was read into the proclamation, too. Really quick, we had a good day yesterday. We hired 2 new police officers, both lateral transfers from other agencies, so they came with some experience. So that's good. We'll get them trained up, and they'll be ready to go on the road here in a couple of months. We promoted Lieutenant Matt Sanchez. He was a sergeant over at the School Resource Officers. Many of you have met formerly Sergeant Sanchez, now Lieutenant Sanchez. So we're happy to promote him, and he's going to do great work out there with Montina Romero in District 8. So we should have a seamless transition from Commander Mallet to Lieutenant Sanchez. And then last, I just wanted to give a quick update. You've seen a lot of emails from my assistant Lisa about the flock and all of the captures and things that we've had. So I had my crime analyst run up some really quick stats, and since February, we've had 8 stolen vehicles recovered and 5 arrests. And of those arrests, it's not just for the stolen car. It's usually the suspects have warrants, drugs, guns, et cetera, in these cars. So they're not stealing the cars to go joyriding. We all know that. They're stealing the cars to go commit other crimes. So, I thank you for allowing us to have this investment for the community, and the fact that we're seeing these kind of numbers in the first month and a half, I think is a telling tale about how important this is going to be. And like I said, we don't even have the full system up yet. So once we get the full camera system up yet, I think it'll be even more impactful. So again, thanks for that. And that's all I had.
Real quick, just to reiterate, the flat cameras are not enforcing traffic.
Correct, yeah. And just today I was on the system kind of looking at its operation and seeing how it works. It doesn't show front photos of drivers. It is not traffic enforcement. It is purely license plate readers, and then it gives us the ability to tap into those cameras and find out if there's for an example, there's a bank robbery somewhere in town. We can look on those cameras if there's a vehicle description, and we can find that vehicle where it's been going. And of course, our systems are all interlinked with Colorado Springs, El Paso County. Flock, as they said in their presentation, is very big on privacy. We are looking for nothing else other than criminal activity and stolen cars. That's all.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Hinton?
Yeah, so just a question, Chief. You said they're not fully all up yet. Do we have a time frame when that might happen?
Yeah, we're going through some permitting with Todd and his group. So once we get all the permitting done, it's a couple of CDOT and private easement issues we're dealing with. So of the 26 cameras we're going to have, we have 20 up. So just another 6 cameras. It'll be a pan camera up at Fountain Mesa, Mesa Ridge that we'll have access to and be able to look at everything. So I would anticipate, this is already longer than I thought, I would expect by end of April we should be completely done. And that, I would say that's kind of a long ball. I think we should be done before that. But I'll just say end of April, we should have all 26 cameras up and running.
All right, moral of the story, steal a car, stay out of Fountain.
That's our hope.
All right. But Colorado Springs got it too, right?
Yeah, Colorado Springs has over 90 cameras. El Paso County is coming on board with their cameras. All of State Patrol on the highway has cameras, Pueblo has cameras. So yeah, it's going to be a fantastic network. Once everybody's up and moving, it'll help us do what we've always tried to do, is reduce all these crimes. So
Right.
capture
Okay.
bad guys.
All right, thank you. Mayor, Madam Clerk, anything?
Yes, and I just wanted to remind everybody that the March 25th meeting is rescheduled till next Tuesday, March 18th, so we'll be back here in 7 days.
All right. IT, anything tonight? You have a new guest.
I'm Chris. I'm visiting over from customer service. I've been over in IT for the past 2 months, and I'm really enjoying it.
All right, thank you. Welcome. Okay, all right, I'm going to start on my right tonight with Councilmember Duncan.
Okay, in honor of Women's History Month, I'd also like to add someone to that list, and thank you, Chief, for recognizing the women you see here on the dais, is Susan Whelan, and she retired on March the 3rd, 2025, and she concluded a remarkable 25-year career with El Paso County Health. And that's important to the city of Fountain because here we have a south location that was open and it included women, infants, and children, our WIC program. It has communities that care and laboratory services that included water testing. And she also addressed concerns like COVID-19. If you remember, that entire facility was converted for COVID testing. It was well planned out. That provided services here in Fountain. The creation of emergency operations located in Fountain and being an advocate for mental health. So I just want to say happy retirement to Susan and for all the work that she did here in the south end of town. Also, I had the honor of attending the Arkansas River Basin Water Forum. It was their 30th year anniversary, where experts discussed critical water issues and possible solutions for the challenge facing the water basin. I have some information here that I'll pass out and I'll leave for the clerk if you want some bedtime reading, and it's Colorado Water Law, and it's the 5th edition. So here you go. Hinton.
Bedtime reading or bedtime snooze off, huh?
So some good information in there. So here's some information for that. And I also had the pleasure of doing a ride-along. I said shame on me for being a second-term council member, and I haven't been on a ride-along, but Chief, you paired me well with the officer that I was with. I learned a lot. He was really excited to have me in the car and showing me everything. And there were a couple of times that I had to stay in the car, but I know what F12 means, so I was ready. So I just want to say, being in the car with one of Fountain's finest was an honor. And it was also very rewarding to hear the officer talk about the work environment and how satisfied he was with working here in Fountain, and the kudos that he gave to his supervisor. So I just want to let you know that.
Thank you, Deidre.
Councilmember Hertzberg? Councilmember Hinton?
Yeah, just really, I had the honor and privilege to read into Brain Injury Awareness Month, which is near and dear to my heart. And so, Chief, I thank you for that. It's something that we take for granted. We only get one of these, right? You hurt it, and you damage it. It has some serious consequences for those that have a concussion, which is an actual TBI, but they deal with it in silence, and it's an invisible wound, and you don't know that people have this kind of stuff, right? And so they suffer, and so just know that if you know anybody that deals with that, please help them to find some resources that will help them in their day-to-day lives. So thank you.
Thank you. I'll go all the way down to my far left, Councilmember.
Yes, Madam Mayor. Just a plug for the VFW Post 6461 on Saturday, March 29th. They are having a Vietnam's Veterans Day ceremony from 2 to 4 at the canteen. VFW 6461, if you can, please attend. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Geek.
I actually do have.
You have to turn your mic on, please?
Sorry.
There you go.
No.
Thank you.
All right. So in February, one of our neighbors had an emergency at their residence, and she sent me an email saying that the City of Fountain Fire paramedics, EMTs, and police were amazing. They were kind, thoughtful, and very attentive. We are fortunate to live in such a community. So I thought I would share that with you guys. And we had our own personal emergency last week where Fountain Fire and security paramedics both were very thorough, kind, caring, and professional. It was a huge relief that they arrived and took such good care of my husband. Kudos to everybody. Thank you very much.
No more
That's it.
emergencies, though.
No more emergencies.
You're done.
Absolutely not.
Okay. Councilmember.
I want to join on the bandwagon with the Women's History Month and our wonderful USA 250, Colorado 150. Colorado has a unique place in history and women's history. Colorado was the first state to have gave women the right to vote by popular referendum. Otherwise, the men voted the right to women to vote. And that happened in 1893. The very next election in 1894, we elected the first 3 women in the United States to serve in a legislative body. Then City of Fountain has joined in, and we had the first woman mayor in the state of Colorado in Wandine Kane. So we have a very rich and vibrant history in women's history, along with our wonderful connections with the United States and to Colorado for our 150. So I'm looking forward, Nate, to everything that we're going to do with this, because I think it's going to be fun.
All right, thank you. All righty, it is the legislative season, and they have managed to put over 520 bills at last count, and they've been busy the last couple of days, so I'm sure there's even more up there. With our state being in the hole, I'm trying to figure out why they have to presenting all these bills, but I'm sure there's a good 1 or 2 in there somewhere. But, so I am at least 2 mornings a week, if not 3, hitting up legislative meetings and presenting, making sure that Fountain and our Fountain Valley is not forgotten, and some of the stuff that might be important to people in denser communities isn't necessarily important down here, or we don't need the oversight. So once again, go to ledge.colorado, put in a topic for something that interests you, and you can probably find a bill and read up about it. So, and I did have a town hall meeting with State Representatives Bradfield and Puglisi, and had a good crowd, lots of good questions, and we're going to do it again in April, and I'll announce that next month, but with Senator Snyder, our newest senator for this area representing us. So we'll have another one then people can come to. All right, that takes us to public to be heard. Citizens may address the council on items that are not on the agenda. Council may not be able to provide an immediate answer, but will direct staff to follow up. Out of respect for the council and others in attendance, please limit your comments to 5 minutes or less. I have 2 cards. If you're in the audience and you haven't turned a card in and you wanted to, I'm looking at the one person in the audience that hasn't turned a card in. And you wanted to say something in public to be heard, now's your time to run, grab your card, and get it filled out. Okay, otherwise, my first card is from Constance Weisenhunt, and I think it says comments and concerns or candor. Come on down and push the mic and let's.
Not candor.
Okay, all right. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Good evening.
Please state
Good
the name for the
evening.
record.
Oh, Connie Weisenhunt. Good evening, Madam Mayor and City Council and officials. Just wanted to share a few things with you that have happened over the last couple of days. Some of them months and 4 years in June. But I want to start off saying that as leaders in the community, we talk about resources, and we talk about trust, and we talk about community, and we talk about helping. As what I consider myself to be is a community member and a leader for resources for the elderly, the unhoused, for the lonely, the abused, women fleeing domestic violence, and a whole array that falls under an umbrella of people who trust me and confide in me and respect my opinion and my thoughts. So I've had several people come to me for assistance in regards to their fountain utilities. And I don't know if you recalled a couple of city council meetings ago, I started the applause for the wonderful hard work that Dan gave. And then I really defended the water rate increase on Facebook pages. So I understand the importance of sacrificing something for the betterment of things. But I've had several people come to me and say, can you help me out with my utilities? I'm not getting help. Fountain Utilities isn't helping me. And it's just been one of those things where I'm like, no, wait, like really? Because March 1st, our wonderful mayor had a townhouse meeting, and she talked about the the rate increase for water. And I know that that was like one subject, but as a whole, community leaders, we have stood up here and have talked to our community and said, reach out, they will give you a payment arrangement. Reach out and communicate, reach out, and if you need help, the City of Fountain will help you out. So they have their strategic plan, 2027, and on one of the pages, they're on page 6, their first thing talks about strengthen public communications efforts, and it talks about communication and that commitment that they're going to make to the community. So I'm a huge researcher, and when people come to me with complaints, I don't take things at face value in what they say, because at the end of the day, I know that my name is all I have, and it's worth so much to me. So I went undercover as a homeless person in the Springs Rescue Mission, and I had so many people say, oh, they're mean, and you can't take your dog, you can't take your cat, there's not enough food, it's not warm, it's not clean. And I went undercover, and I checked myself in, and I learned a whole lot about it, and it is a phenomenal, fantastic organization, and the things that they do to help our unhoused is fantastic. I found myself in another opportunity to go undercover, and I reached out to Fountain Utilities to try to make a payment arrangement on a huge bill that I had. And they told me I wasn't eligible and that they would not help me. And they didn't give me any reasoning. And they just said, no, it's too high. We just took your reading again. And I never really need help with my utilities, but last year was a struggle, and I'm always a little bit behind on things with my businesses and then my home, that kind of thing. I never got an explanation as to why. So I researched it. I went in today. I said, what's your mission statement? This was all I got for their mission statement. Nobody seemed to know where to find it. I had another form that they gave me today that talks about a few things, which I believe are up here for the strategic priority. And then I called and I said, please tell me what are the requirements for PA is what they call it, a payment assistance for residential and a business. Well, what they shared with me is that there's an internal credit rating, which isn't public knowledge. And that's what they base if you're going to pay a deposit or a double deposit if you're a risk or if it's not possible to help you out at all. So I learned that today. And then I also learned that you can't be asking for help if your account is over $750 or something like that in a 90-day period. There was a whole lot that I learned, but the first lady never shared it with me. And then the second gentleman was Brett Robinson. I think this is Robinson's his last name. He got very,
Ms.
very
Weisenhunt,
agitated with me.
If I could get you to wind it up.
Yes, I'm
to
going to wrap it
about
up.
10
I'm
more
sorry.
seconds, please.
I just didn't get any help. And when I was able to get somebody to answer some questions, they said, refer to page 8 on da-da-da-da, which I could never find. It
Okay.
took forever.
Okay. Well, it sounds to me like Mr. Trainer's going to follow up with you on getting some more information, and we can always improve, right? And I'm sure he'll have himself or Dan will follow up with her.
I really appreciate you sharing that, Connie. We'll follow up with it. And then we'll report back to council as well.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very
I
much.
just want to really quick and just say, I think as leaders, maybe we shouldn't be promoting that they're going to do payment arrangements when truly they're not. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. And just to clarify, I believe the comment was made, please reach out before you're getting your utilities turned off. Don't wait until you get the turn-off notice in the mail. So, okay, Mr. Langley from American Legion.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. John Langley, Commander of the American Legion Post 38. First, I want to say thank you to the community. We have a lot of people that come to our Friday dinners, and for the last month and a half, we have sold out every single one of our dinners, and some of them are 120 meals that we serve, and sometimes it might be 75 because you never know. You have hit and miss days, but I want to say thank you to the community that's coming out and supporting our dinners. Now, on to our dinners and our event happenings. This Thursday, our auxiliary is having a sip and paint. I don't know what the paint schemes are. I imagine they're going to be related to St. Patrick's Day or something like that. But the $10 covers all the supplies, the paints. They give you a board and the brushes, and that provides everything, and that starts at 5:30 p.m. And then this Friday, we have our auxiliaries fried chicken dinner, which everybody comes to, and they're licking the plates because they want more of that gravy. And then on Saturday, March the 15th, we are having a St. Patrick's celebration at 2 p.m. where we will have corned beef and cabbage, carrots, and roasted potatoes in a roll, and that will be $15 for that meal. Our ALR, or Legion Riders, have a steak dinner, which steak prices are going up considerably. They almost went up $3 a pound in the last month. So, so $20 is a great deal for a steak dinner. Saturday, March the 29th, we're going to have a basketball madness party. It'll start at 6 p.m. at the Legion. It'll be in the back hall. It will last till 10. It's open to the public, and they'll have a nacho bar, DJ, and a karaoke machine there for you to sing in, and there'll be some games and prizes. Also, on April the 12th from 11 to 2 p.m., the auxiliary will be participating in the Veterans Organization or with other veteran organizations in the Month of the Military Child Carnival held at Mount Carmel. It's free and open to all children of active duty and veteran families. There will be games, prizes, food, bounce houses, Easter goodie bags, and the Easter Bunny will show up there too. And then I'd be remiss if I didn't promote my June the 9th golf tournament. I will get the flyer out to the advertising guys at the for the city and see if we can't have a total sellout on that too. Barring any questions.
Okay, so that would be Sam Stump. You would send that to, and then they can review it.
Okay, thank you.
So, and I don't have his email memorized, so don't send it to T. Evans. All righty. Okay, thank you very much. That's all the cards we have for public to be heard. That takes us on to item 7, consent agenda. All items listed under the consent agenda are considered routine and will be approved with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or citizen so requests, in which case the item may be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately at the discretion of council. We have consent agenda item A, approval of the minutes. What would council like to do? Councilmember Hinton.
I make a motion to, to approve the consent agenda as written.
Okay, we have a motion. Councilmember Estes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further deliberation? Seeing none, please vote.
7 yes, motion carried.
All right, thank you. That takes us on to item 8, old business. There is none tonight. Item 9, new business, consideration of items removed from the consent agenda. There were no items removed. Item 10, city council agenda requests. Do I have any agenda requests from any council members? Nope. Seeing none? Okay, and we were told item 11, announcement of an executive session. We're not having tonight. Can I adjourn? I mean, can I really? Okay, we are adjourned. It just seemed, I know, it just seems so like I missed something.